All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I guess I'm one step ahead of the game, as usual, because now the talk is out there of riots taking place during the Republican National Convention. Do you know why? Because through social media network, and I guess I've contributed to this somewhat, one thing I've done contribute to is the education of the voting system or the electoral system in this particular country right here. And I've given you solid proof that your vote does not count. Oh, you're participating in the voting process, but it doesn't count. So right now what the sentiment is that there's going to be a riot because, you know, you have these delegates and super delegates who are basically in charge of who's going to be the nominee. Now, consensus is that if somebody goes into the convention with the most delegates, then they should be the one that is nominated by the will of the people. But however, we have a different sentiment. The other day, I was listening to these hypocritical boy lovers out there called the Young Turks. And I don't agree with them on a lot of things. I definitely don't agree with this. What they try to do is they try to say that Donald Trump was inciting riots simply because he mentioned something about if, you know, the vote goes to the delegates and the super delegates, if they're going to be the ones that's going to decide who's going to be the next president, then the will of the people is going to be exercised. And they accused him of actually starting riots simply because he's talking. And that's the one thing that a lot of these conservative talk shows are doing today. They don't want to introduce thoughts into your mind that may get you to go, and start thinking. Because, see, you have a right of freedom of protest. Yeah, protest your government redress agreement, especially when it's hijacked by the establishment, because every single one of these delegates and super delegates are all paid by the establishment, the elite, and they are the ones that are going to be controlling the delegates and super delegates. So they talk about they have this contested convention and stuff, this, you know, where these delegates are going to unbound, meaning they're going to vote for a particular candidate. All right, Donald Trump is the front runner. That's the reason why you see Kasich staying in, because he even said it, well, I'll do well then. But see, Kasich, you don't have the popular vote of the people. And I know that when I say that, it doesn't count, it's delegates that count. But in other words, how in the world this booger think he has the audacity and the unmitigated gall to sit up here and actually go to the convention when he's well behind 150%? Donald Trump only needs 50% of the electoral votes in order to be confirmed as the Republican nomination. Cruz, he actually needs 100%. He needs 100%. And so in mathematically, he's literally out of it. But this Kasich, he was behind Rubio, and Rubio at least had, of course, he had to lose his state, and I tried to give the young man advice, but he didn't want to listen to me. I called it a week or two before they even voted. I said, Rubio, you're going to lose your state, man. If you want to protect your future, you need to go ahead and drop out now. But, you know, pride always goes before destruction, the Holy Spirit before a fall. And he think he's going to recover from this, but he's not going to recover from this. But, hey, it is what it is. What can you say to young people today who think they know it all? Because he got some bad advisors up there. Donald Trump ends up winning his state. But Rubio was ahead of Kasich. And then this guy, I'm telling you, something's wrong. You know what it is? Kasich is actually believing that he has the backing. It must have been some whispering in them smoke-filled rooms. He actually thinks he's got the backing of not only the delegates, but the super delegates. And then we had this congressman from North Dakota all but just flat out be in your face. That's what the New World Order is doing today, isn't it? Flat out told you that you do not decide the vote. So you got to ask yourself the question, like I've asked a couple of videos ago, then what the hell we out there voting for? Why are we even participating if it don't matter? I mean, it does make for good theater, don't it? It's the delegates and the super delegates. They are the ones who are determining who's going to be the Republican national candidate to run for president, and not you and not I. It's painful. Most of you who believe in this country, and I'm telling you, that's why I keep telling you, there needs to be a clean sweep of the whole entire system. But what I'm getting to is I'm listening even to a talk show here out of Nashville this morning, and as soon as somebody starts talking about a brokered convention, as soon as they start talking about a contested convention, because neither one of the candidates are going with the amount of delegates that is needed to confirm themselves for the party, first thing they do is start shutting people down. because they don't want you, the people out there, to get any idea. See, the information that they present to you is what the same thing the public food system and the college feeds you. And the people that are in the powers that be there in the know, they only want to give you so much information because they know that your mind can only go so far and only can reach so far when you only present it with so much. And they know that you're going to stay in a confused state and nobody's going to break it down and make it easy and simple for you to comprehend and understand. That's why people like myself are despised and rejected and hated, because we say the things that you're thinking that you can't articulate because you really truly don't know. But when you know a little bit about it and then you hear us speaking, all of a sudden you start going, oh, that's the reason why. So that is the only reason why John Kasich is still in this running right now, because he thinks that he can broker a deal through the RNC at the GOP, the Grand Old Party National Convention. He thinks that he can actually steal the nomination because he got a bunch of friends in high places up there. Yeah, let me tell you something. You let somebody like him or somebody from the floor get the nod from the RNC, yeah, you're going to watch some riots in this country. And you know what? There will be no more. All the people that supported Donald Trump, they will be Republicans no more. All the people that supported Cruz, there will be no Republicans. No, as a matter of fact, there will be no Republican Party. Let me tell you the painful truth in this country. The powerful, the rich, and the elite, they use us for their bidding. They deceive us on purpose for their bidding and their purpose. And the power that they have behind them is lying and making and using strategy to deceive your minds and your hearts. And you willfully go and participate. You willfully have some type of hope. What candidate, be it Democrat or Republican, has ever done any of us any good in this country? Think about this. All we've had is Bushes and Clintons for the last 20 or 30 years. Don't you call that a monarchy? Emperors. I mean, it's all in the family, and it includes Barack Hussein Obama, Barry Soros, I think is that, whatever his name was. But let me tell you something. These people don't care nothing about you and I, yet they do need you and I. And look what they do. They use the news media to all but confirm the deception and put forth a false narrative amongst us to try to sway our hearts and our mind. It's just only one problem, though. You see, they wish that there was never such thing as the advent of the internet, because now the information highway, the super information highway, it's giving a lot of people a lot of information that they never should have had, because all that information should have been only reserved to those who have the inside track. And now, since we have more information, now we can make an intelligent, informed decisions. What are we going to say? And what are we going to do from this point on about all these lying politicians that know how the system run, but they ain't telling us? You see, this is the reason why Donald Trump, can you imagine every time he speaks, their eyebrows go to the top of their hairline. Did he just say that? Did he just say that? He has to play that game. He has to be brutally honest and stuff in order to get the confidence of the American people. But let me say this again. I am under no illusion whatsoever at all about the political process in this country. I hope some of you understood just what I just got finished saying. And for those of you that are in the faith, after all, at the end of the day, I'm fishing. That's the truth, and that's the true straight way. But you watch these so-called conservatives. I don't think they're conservatives. I think they're fascists. That's my personal opinion. I probably even need to define that definition as well. But anyway, hey, do not, if their mouth is moving, they're lying. And that's the truth, and that's the true straight way.